The most respected person you know isn't trying to be. Watch them in a room. They don't perform, they don't fill silences, they don't chase anyone's approval, and somehow that's exactly why they have it. Meanwhile, you've done everything right, been agreeable, been helpful, been impressive, and felt the respect slip through your fingers anyway. There's a reason the harder you reach for it, the less you get. Respect doesn't respond to effort way other things do. You can't earn it by trying harder to be liked. In fact, the trying is usually the thing leaking out and quietly costing you. There are 8 habits that change how people hold you, concrete things you can. Start doing this week in your next conversation, your next disagreement. By the end of this, you'll see why the people who command the most respect are the ones who stopped auditioning for it. Most advice about respect gets the direction backwards. It treats respect like something you do to people, a posture you strike, a power move you deploy, a line you deliver to put someone in their place. The internet is full of this. Stand like this. Talk over them. Never apologize. Make them wait. And it half works on the surface, which is what makes it dangerous, because the people running these moves get a flicker of fear or compliance and mistake it for the real thing. Fear isn't respect. Compliance isn't respect. They just rhyme with it from a distance. Real respect is quieter and stranger than the tactics suggest. It isn't something you install in another person through clever behavior. It's something that leaks out of you constantly through signals you're barely aware you're sending. How you treat yourself, how you handle being wrong, what you do when no one's performing for anyone. People read those signals long before they read your words, and they decide how to hold you based on what they pick up, not on what you're trying to project. Which is why the habits that actually build respect all share one strange feature. They only work when they're real. The first one is the one almost nobody gets right, because it feels, at first, like the opposite of strength. The first habit is that respected people are comfortable being disliked. They've made peace with the fact that not everyone will approve of them, and they stopped adjusting themselves to chase the people who won't. There's a settledness in someone who isn't auditioning for your approval, and the body reads that settledness as status before the mind catches up. The second habit follows directly from the first. Respected people don't rush to fill silence. When someone asks them a hard question, they let a beat sit before answering. They don't scramble to smooth over a pause, don't pile words on top of words to ease the discomfort. Most people can't tolerate silence in a conversation. It feels like something is going wrong, so they fill it, and the filling makes them look anxious. The person who can sit calmly inside a quiet moment signals, without saying anything, that they're not afraid of the room. That ease is magnetic precisely because it's so rare. The third habit is that they're genuinely unbothered by being wrong. They'll say, "I hadn't thought of it that way," or "You're right." I was off without any visible cost to them. People assume admitting error lowers your standing. It does the reverse. Someone who can be wrong without crumbling shows you they don't need to protect a fragile image. And only people who are secure can afford that. The defensiveness most of us reach for to save face is the exact thing that loses it. Sitting beside that is the fourth habit, and it's quieter. Respected people keep their reactions proportional. Small problem, small response. Big problem, steady response. They don't blow up over a minor inconvenience or collapse at the first sign of trouble. There's a name for the steadiness underneath this. Emotional regulation. The ability to feel something strongly without being run by it. In plain words, their inner weather doesn't become everyone else's problem. People relax around someone whose moods they don't have to manage, and relaxing around someone is the soil respect grows in. What ties these four together is a single thread. Each one is a signal of a person who isn't desperate. Not for approval, not for the upper hand, not for the room to go their way. And desperation, in any flavor, is the one thing that quietly repels respect every time. The fifth habit is that they keep their word in small things, not just big ones. They show up when they said they would. They remember the thing you mentioned in passing. They don't overpromise to be liked in the moment and then quietly let it slide. Most people are reliable about the large commitments and careless about the small ones, not realizing that respect is built almost entirely in the small ones, because the small ones are where you think no one is keeping score. Someone always is. Every kept little promise is a quiet deposit, and people trust and respect the person whose word means the same thing at every size. The sixth habit is that they don't speak badly about people who aren't in the room. When the conversation turns to gossip, they go quiet, or they say something fair and they don't join the pile on. It seems like a small thing. It isn't. Everyone listening does the same private math. If they won't tear someone apart behind their back, they won't tear me apart behind mine. You can't fake your way into that kind of trust. It only comes from actually being that person. But here's the cost nobody mentions about these habits. Every one of them will at first make you less popular, not more. The person who's comfortable being disliked will be disliked sometimes. The one who won't gossip gets left out of the bonding that gossip creates. The one who keeps reactions proportional looks less exciting than the one who makes everything a drama. Respect and popularity are not the same currency, and they're often one in opposite directions. The habits that build deep respect frequently cost you the cheap warmth of being everyone's favorite. That trade is real, and the next two habits are where it gets hardest, and where the trap is waiting. The seventh habit is that respected people ask for what they want directly, without wrapping it in apology. They don't bury the request under three softeners. They don't pretend they don't care about the outcome. They state the thing plainly. I'd like this. Can you do it? And then they let it land. Most people hedge, hint, and over-apologize because they're trying to stay likable while asking, and the hedging signals that they don't quite believe they're allowed to want things. Directness, done without aggression, tells the room you take yourself seriously enough to be honest about your own needs. People take you as seriously as you take yourself. The eighth habit is the deepest, and it's the one all the others rest on. Respected people don't outsource their self-worth to the people in front of them. Their sense of being okay comes from inside, not from the reactions in the room. There's a name for this: internal validation, the quiet ability to hold your own worth without needing constant proof from outside. When you have it, you stop leaking the neediness that repels respect. When you don't, every tactic in the world won't save you because the desperation always shows. And this is exactly where the trap snaps shut. Because someone watches a video like this and tries to perform the 8 habits. They fake the comfort with silence. They perform the directness. They put on the steadiness like a coat. And it doesn't work, it actively backfires. Because all 8 habits are downstream of one real thing, and you can't fake the source. People don't respond to the behavior. They respond to whether the behavior is true. You can act unbothered. Only being unbothered actually moves anyone. So if the habits can't be performed, what do you actually do with them? You stop treating them as moves and start treating them as evidence. Each one is a symptom of a single underlying shift. The shift from needing the room's approval to no longer requiring it. You don't build that by practicing the 8 behaviors. You build it the other way around. You work on the source, and the 8 habits begin to appear on their own. Because they were never really habits. They were what a settled person naturally does. And the source is more reachable than it sounds. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself that no one else witnessed. Every time you tolerate someone's disapproval and survive it intact. Every time you choose to be honest when a softer lie would have been easier. These small private acts slowly teach your nervous system that you're someone worth respecting. And once you believe it quietly, you stop needing anyone else to say it loudly. Here's the part the Tricks and Tactics version will never tell you. The reason you've been chasing respect is that some part of you is waiting for other people to decide you're worth it. They can't. They were always just reading the answer off your face. The respect you've been trying to extract from the room has, this entire time, been yours to grant first. Stop auditioning. The role was never theirs to give you. It was yours to stop asking permission for. If any of this met you somewhere quiet, leave a comment and consider subscribing. There will be more like it.